you guys doing tonight? We're here for the second edition of Fireside Fishing Chat with my beautiful wife, Courtney. And tonight, we're going to be going through a whole list of questions that you guys sent in, wanting to know about fishing regionally and as well as down at Lake of the Ozarks. So, before we get started though, and going through all your fishing questions, I've been thinking about trying to become a bass ninja this year. That's right, becoming one with the rod. So,
what drew you to these conclusions, Spencer?
Well, I've just been thinking, it's one thing to go fishing, but it's another thing to, find the zen of fishing, so to speak.
Okay.
It worked for Rick Clunn, so,
All right.
maybe I can get it to work for me.
You gonna do some yoga now too?
I don't know if I'm flexible enough for yoga. I might I might tear a muscle in my leg. Even though I don't have very many muscles in my legs, but yeah.
Oh my god.
So, we're going to do the Bass Ninja Challenge here. So, this is the first time I've ever attempted the Bass Ninja Challenge. So, I don't know how this is going to go, but what we're going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can spool up this Razr rod here with some fishing line, all while being blindfolded, of all things. And so, I don't know if this is how this is gonna end, or if it's gonna end well, but we're gonna give it a shot, okay? Mm-hmm. So let me see here. I gotta get this on here. Oh, let me see here. I don't really have much experience in being blindfolded here, so let's see if we can do this here now. Oh man. Let's see here.
Can you see?
No, I can't see. I can't see anything. I feel like I'm in a black hole. Man. Alright.
Alright, look up so everybody can see you.
Alright, so completely blindfolded here, so I can't see anything. So let's see, my rod's over here somewhere, because I know I put that over there because there would be no way of finding that. So I got my rod here, and now I gotta get my fishing line. So
don't hit me with that.
Oh, did I almost hit you?
Yep.
Almost got you with my rod? Okay. Well, I got my line over here. Let's see. Here. I got to get the line through the first guide. And if I can do that, then I might be able to do this. I don't know. Alright, so I got the line. It's in my finger here. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to go up the rod here a little bit. Okay, there's my guide. Hey. Oh, did I get it?
Huh?
I think I got it, huh?
I can't really tell.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
hey.
wow. Hey, look, there is some.
Hey, I'm going to the guide, or the eyelet on the reel here now. I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not. This is gonna be a nightmare, getting this thing through here. This is gonna be harder than catching fish, I'll tell you that much.
Is this like sewing?
I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to get this through here. This is way harder than I thought. Like, super hard.
Yep, you're hitting our TV now.
Whoa.
Did you get it?
I don't even know if I have I still got the line. Man, this is something else. I don't know if I can do this. Really don't.
Is this really like sewing though? Have you ever sewed before?
No, I don't sew. Real men don't sew.
Well, you just learned how to iron the other day.
Yeah, that was a new happening for me. We had to go to a wedding, and that was something else.
And I was not going to iron. Spencer had to iron his own clothes.
Man, this is like super difficult. I don't know if I'm going to succeed in this challenge.
Well, you're pretty competitive, so I feel like you're going to figure it out.
I mean, holy cow. This is like a puzzle. This is like a huge puzzle. I can't get this through here. I don't know how you do this. Like, what would you do?
Weren't there voices in the that Bird Box movie?
Voices?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It was a good movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, man. I don't think I'm going to get it through that hole. I think
Seriously?
I'm just going to have to go through.
Do you need help?
I need help with this. All right, come on. I need my assistant to help me here. Just put
How
it
do
through
you
the
do
reel
this?
guide. Put it through the reel guide there.
What?
Just
Is this little hole?
Yeah, put it through the hole. And then put it through. And then bring it up to me. Bring it up to me. Come on.
Okay.
Straight away. Come on.
I'm going.
You gotta put it in there so I can grab it out.
I can't tell if it's going or not.
Just put it in the hole.
It's in the hole. Seriously, Spencer.
Where's the line at?
It.
Where's the line at?
I don't know.
Put it in there.
It's in here.
This is like...
Don't take your blindfold off.
Put it in there.
I'm
Pass it
feeding
through.
it in,
Pass
Spencer.
it through. Pass it through to where it comes out over here.
I can't tell. Oh.
Pull it through.
Why is it going this way?
I don't know.
You made it go through a different way, Spencer.
You gotta put it through the little metal hole.
I did put it through the metal hole. Stop,
Do it again.
stop. I gotta redo it.
Do it again. Oh, God.
Okay.
Now push it
Stop.
all the way through. How hard can it be?
This is very difficult.
Just put it through there.
Okay, there you go. There you
Where's
go.
it at?
Here, hold it. Hold it. There you go.
Oh, my
All
God.
right, you're welcome.
See, guys, look how difficult this can all be if you can't see what the heck you're doing.
It looks like you are not one with the pole yet, Spencer.
Man, I don't know.
You have not found your zen 100%.
I don't know what you're going to do in order to do this challenge. If somebody can do this, like, if somebody can do this blindfolded, I will send you a $25 lure pack. How about that? I will do that. I will send you a $25 lure pack. You have to do it completely blindfolded, without any help. If you can string your line on a pole while being blind, I will send you a $25 lure pack. Alright, so let me see here. I don't even think I can get this through here like this. Look at this.
Just like Sandra Bullock in the,
Oh my God.
in the Netflix movie.
Like, this is insane.
There's another hole you have to put it through?
You gotta put it around the spool.
What?
Or actually, let me try something here. This might work. So I heard a tip from somebody that you can just stick it in that hole. I gotta figure out where it's at.
Oh my God.
Alright, you gotta come help me again.
Dear Lord.
Alright, so what I need you to do is I need you to take the line and I need you to put it just inside the hole on this.
What hole?
Just the little hole in the spool here. See
One
the
of
little
these
holes?
little holes?
Yep, just put it in there and poke it through there and then tell me when it's in there.
It's in.
Is it going around?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is it going onto the reel?
Yeah.
Alright, I got it now.
Okay.
Alright, okay, here we go. Alright, we're spooling line. Okay, so whoa.
Oh my God.
This is gonna be the craziest.
Spencer, you keep hitting our ceiling fan.
Oh my God, look at this. This is why I gotta have so many rods. It just, you know. Alright, so let me get this line on here. Now that we got this, I think I can do the rest. Alright. Alright, I got the line. We're winding it on. I can't see anything. You're gonna have to, I don't know, I mean, let's see. Let's see how much line we got on. We got a ways to go. Got a long ways to go here.
So, could this happen, like, if it's super foggy on Lake of the Ozarks?
No. But I was thinking, I was like, man, how hard would it be to do some of the most simple things in fishing if you couldn't see what you were doing? You know what I'm saying?
After that movie?
I don't know. I had the thought came to my mind. I was just like, man, I just want to see, you know, what it would be like. So I think I'm getting the line on here now. It's coming onto the reel. But I have no idea where I'm at right here. I gotta be getting full. Gotta be getting full line. And I've reeled in quite a bit here. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call that good, okay? And so I would cut this with a blindfold on, but I'm definitely not gonna cut my freaking hand off, okay? Because that would be bad. Alright, so tonight what we did is we found out how tough it can be to do some of these things. But look at that. I mean, I got that on there perfect. Look at that.
Yep.
Without even being able to see like how much I had on, I could kind of feel it.
So I think you could definitely star in the movie The Bird Box.
Oh yeah, right.
Do you think you would make it?
No, I'd be dead. I'd be dead in like a heartbeat.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'd be dead.
What about like The Walking Dead? Do you think you'd make it through that?
No, I don't think so.
You sure?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this real quick. But you know, I've got this machete over here. Yeah. we're gonna use this. We're gonna do this redneck style. We're gonna cut the line here real quick. Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna work. There we go. Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. Gotta get you a big old sharp knife like that, you know, because this line I use is so strong, you know. So strong, you know.
You have one of those on the boat?
Yeah, I carry one, especially when I'm down in Okeechobee. You know, I gotta protect myself from the alligators down there. You know, they're gonna be trying to come in the boat. But yeah, it's time for one of these now. You know, that's a lot of work.
What is that?
It's like a little fruit juice.
Is that sparkling water?
I don't know. I think so. Hey,
Is that
we gotta keep it.
water?
We gotta keep it PG-13 on the show. You know.
So is that's coconut water? Right
This
there?
is the blackberry cucumber, which I don't know anybody that's eaten blackberries and cucumbers together, but apparently that's a thing.
Well, Spencer, this is supposed to be
Where'd you get this at?
Aldi's. You're supposed to be one with your Zen.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Cucumber
drinking
water is supposed to help.
So if I drink some blackberries and cucumber, I'll become a better fisherman? Is that what you're saying?
You said that you wanted to have your Zen.
Oh my god. Well, folks, as you can
Drink
see,
it.
we've started off the show with a unique challenge that I hope you guys found interesting. We're gonna get to the questions here that some of you guys had. So one of the questions I can remember, somebody wanted to know what to do on Lake of the Ozarks as they continue, as basically what to do at the end of December on Lake of the Ozarks and how bass migrate when they continue to pull the water down. Okay, so when they start dropping the water, the fish are really going to bunch up in those holes. And what I mean by holes, I'm talking those areas where you have a transition from what I call like semi-shallow water to deep water. That's where they're going to be. Because really, the fish, they're going to want to have an area to where they can move up and feed, but then also kind of move out in case the weather gets bad. You know, they don't want to be caught up in one type of area. They want an area where they can transition. Does that make sense to you, Courtney?
Okay.
So how I would say this is like, okay, so say you go into a cove, all right? Bass are always going to be moving in and around secondary points when they start pulling the water down, because a secondary point has a lot of options. You've got real deep water next to it a lot of times, and then you have like a shallow spot on the point where they can come up and feed, or they can slide back down. So those are like really good areas when they start pulling the water down. But the other thing too that can be really good is like the little holes. So you're going down
the little holes.
So you're going and you're looking down a bank. Say like the Ozarks, you're looking down the bank, and you'll see an area where that bank just kind of makes a little turn. It kind of goes like this and makes a little turn. Well, those areas where you have, they're transition areas, what we like to call them. So the rock might change, or you might just have an area to where you have real deep water, and then it kind of slides up in the shallow. Right where that little sweet spot is, that's where they really like to stack up this time of the year.
Okay.
So what you're going to see,
makes sense.
so what happens is, you know, as the lake's full, you're going to have a lot of fish in the back of the creeks, and, you know, they're going to be kind of all over the place. But when they start bringing that water down, those fish are going to get in those little deep spots, and they'll start stacking up more because you get a lot less water in the lake, so the fish are going to group up more, and you'll be able to, like, really pinpoint those areas.
Is that because they're cold?
Well, what they like is they like options. They're just like people, you know? Well,
But
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know what you were doing either. But like, you know, if you're saying that they're grouping up, are they grouping up because they're cold and they want like, you know what I mean? Just like if we were cold, like, you know what I mean?
Well, what they're doing is they're stopping there. So the fish, what they're going to do is they're going to swim up those channels, and when they find a spot like that, they're going to stay there for a little bit. And so you have fish, they're going to be constantly transitioning on those banks, and they're going to be moving up and down on those secondary points, feeding and transitioning. So basically, like, I believe that bass swim in wolf packs, what I like to call them. So you get about 4 or 5, you know, bass that are together, like a school.
So it's like a bass pack?
Yeah, like a bass pack. And it's like a little school of them, and what they're going to do is they're just going to swim around the cove looking for shad, and when they find the bait in an area, they're going to stop there and eat them. But what they're going to do is when they come to those areas that have everything that they need in order to feed and live there.
They'll chill for a little bit.
They'll chill for a little bit.
Huh.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to intersect them as they're moving throughout the cove.
Okay.
That's about as simple as I can put it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
So that was one of the questions. So hopefully, I think it was Scott asked that question. Hopefully that takes care of that question, and that's going to help you catch some more fish.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other questions we had, so Dave asked, you know, what do I think about people spending all this money on custom paint jobs on baits, and whether or not, you know, it helps people catch fish?
I think they're pretty.
They're pretty, but do the bass really think that much about them?
Yeah.
I mean, a crankbait, it's moving really fast. So do you think they can see every little detail on there? Or do you think it's more about the action? Or do you think it's more about just like the overall color?
I would say it's kind of all
those things.
Uh-huh.
Because, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that do these custom paint jobs to where, you know, they have all these little scale patterns and just little designs on the bait. But, you know, that bait's just moving through the water like a blur. So,
Yeah, my biggest
do you think
thing,
the fish can really see that close?
my biggest
Or is it
thing,
more,
though,
or is it more just the color, you know, like that base color that they're keying in on?
I honestly would just be worried about losing the custom painted.
Oh yeah, because some of these baits are like $40 or $50 a bait.
Yeah, and like, I'll be honest, I mean, if you lost a $50 bait, I wouldn't be very happy. That's like losing like a steak dinner.
Steak dinner.
Yeah.
It's like a couple steak dinners. Where you eating?
No,
Yeah,
that's
where
like,
are you going?
like $50 for like a steak dinner for one person. That's like a steak dinner.
What I can say from my experience is that colors matter a lot, but maybe some of the finer details don't matter as much. I think fishermen tend to think too much of that at times.
So, if somebody doesn't necessarily want to get a custom painted bait, what do you recommend that they do instead?
Well, I think you got to have a couple different colors for fishing crankbaits, especially around this part of the country. One of the first ones you need to have a bright red one. That catches fish all over the place. I mean, the FLW tour, they were just down at Sam Rayburn, and a lot of those guys caught fish on red crankbaits. That's a very good color to have in a crankbait.
What about black and chartreuse? Those are
Black
my
and
favorite
chartreuse.
colors.
Black and chartreuse is a really good dirty water color. It works really good when the water is muddy or even stained sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that's always one to have. I think you need to have a sexy shad colored crankbait.
A sexy shad color.
Yeah, so sexy shad, for those of you that don't know, it's
Is that
kind
what
of...
you say when you go into Bass Pro? I'm looking for a sexy shad bait. Can you show me one of those?
Well, actually, okay, so a sexy...
You ever say that?
Sexy shad is actually like a really popular color in fishing lures.
That's like an actual color?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, they, I think like...
I can't picture you going into a store being like, hey man, you got some sexy shad.
Well, they would know what you're talking about.
Huh?
They know what you're talking about. Because anybody that knows fishing lures knows what sexy shad is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big color.
I've never heard
Well,
you talk
Kevin
about
Van
a
Dam,
sexy shad.
Kevin Van Dam with Strike King, they came out with that sexy shad pattern. And pretty much like all the different, crankbait companies out there have copied that color in some way or another because it's a good color. What it is, it's like kind of a blue. It's kind of a bluer, like light blue top with a little chartreuse in the side and a white belly. But that color works really good pretty much everywhere you go. It's a really good color on Lake of the Ozarks too.
I just want to hear you say it one more time. Say, sexy shad.
I'm not gonna say sexy shad. Oh.
No, do it like it with a sexy.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
not saying it
Come
that
on.
way. Sorry, not gonna do it. But
Come on.
But the other colors that you really need, you need like some kind of a brown crankbait to mimic your crawdads, and you also need some green ones. Green's a really good color around the Ozarks, works really well. And then also, what I like to throw is a I don't know, I think you call it like a chartreuse. It's like a chartreuse of white, like real light, like kind of in your face lime green. with like a white body to it. That works really good. And I think they call that like I don't know. Fire Tiger is another good color. So like Fire Tiger works really good in muddy water too. It's real popular crankbait.
So is the water muddy right now?
In a lot of places,
Like the Ozarks?
I think in some places, yeah, the water's going to be pretty muddy.
When is it going to be more clear?
Well, I mean, Mother Nature kind of has a say in that.
Well, when does it typically get more clear?
Usually in the summertime, it gets real clear. Or if we have no rain. Like if you have rain for or no rain for a real long period of time, that's when the lake gets the clearest and they start pulling it down and get real clear. Or if they haven't let any water go through it. Like if you don't get a lot of generation down at the lake, they don't start pulling water out of Truman Dam, when the lake's going to stay real clear. But
you think that the lake has ever frozen?
Oh yeah, it's frozen.
Like it's frozen?
Oh
like,
yeah, frozen all the way over. Yeah,
really?
That happened one time actually. I remember it was a long time ago, but it actually happened. I want to say it happened in like 2010 or 2011.
You think
it might have happened even between here and now and then, but I can't remember because we got so many things going on. But
people go ice fishing?
I don't know if it was thick enough to go ice fishing. I think you would have fallen through.
Oh my god.
I mean, hey, like a big guy like me gonna get out there on that ice, man, I'd be in the lake.
I wouldn't want you to be on the ice. But
yeah.
People up north do that.
Well, yeah, but
Ice
the
fishing?
ice
Have
is
you
like
ever
3
gone
foot
ice
deep.
What, have you ever been ice fishing?
Ice fishing?
Yeah.
Ice fishing? Yeah, I've been ice fishing a couple times.
When?
I used to go ice fishing in Kansas.
Really?
Yeah, there's a couple lakes down there, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's pretty simple. I mean, all you do is you cut a hole in the ice and you drop your lure in there. It's kind of like deep sea fishing. You'd probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah, I just...
It's probably more your
pop
style.
it in.
Yeah, you just put it in there, yeah.
Yeah. And then I just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did you actually catch any fish?
Most of the time, we would catch crappie and bass doing the ice fishing.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's kind of a boring way to fish. I mean, if you go ice fishing, like, up north or something like that, where you can catch a whole lot of different species through the ice, it's a lot of fun. But around here, most of the success I've had through the ice, I've caught trout through the ice.
I don't like trout.
You don't like trout? How come you don't like trout?
Because they're too smart.
Too smart? I think they're pretty dumb. Seems like they're pretty dumb.
I get so irritated with trout because I'll put a little bait right in front of them, and I know that they see it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna bite your bait."
Well, I think bass and trout have a lot in common. A lot more in common than most people think. So that kind of brings us to our next question. I had somebody ask, what are the different things you use when you fish highly pressured areas, or when the fish they're not willing to bite? And so, as you go across the country, most of the water, the bigger lakes, are really highly pressured. They have a lot of tournaments. A lot of people are fishing. There's hardly a day that goes by that the fish do not see a fishing lure if you're on a well-known lake. So what I've got for you guys, I've got some of the different baits that I really like to throw for heavily pressured fish. Something that works really good, surprisingly, for fish that are really tough to bite is a crankbait. And I think crankbait works really good because it's moving really fast and you're going to get more of a reaction bite. You're going to get a reaction bite, okay? And so, a couple different crankbaits. You can throw some of the silent ones, like this little flat-sided Strike King, or you can throw, say like a rattle trap, like this little red-eye shad right here. This works really good in triggering bites. So the whole key with fishing this bait is you want to just like rip it up off the bottom, because all you're trying to do is trigger a reaction bite. And so crankbaits work really good on pressured fish. I think a lot of people have a mistake in thinking that you only have to throw little finesse worms and stuff like that in order to get those fish to bite, when a lot of times really what you need to do is make them bite by power fishing. So what we have right here is a little Ned rig. So a Ned is really hard to beat.
He's so cute.
So I throw a Ned quite a bit in tournaments if I really need to catch some fish. So a Ned's really good. You just put that on like a little bitty mushroom head, like this one here. Another one that works really good is just a little wacky rigged Senko.
Oh, these work really good at the lake where my parents used to live.
So what you do?
That's what we always threw.
Yeah. So what the whole trick with this is, you're just gonna put a plastic Senko bait on a little bitty hook like this, a little like 1/0 hook, and you're just gonna hook it right through the middle like that. And I like to throw this on, like 8-10 pound test line only. And what you're gonna do is just throw it out there and just let it go to the bottom. And it's just gonna fall weightless, and every time you twitch the rod, it's gonna make those little legs bounce like that, and you're just gonna let it sink. And the less you can move it, so if you can give it a couple of twitches and then let this thing fall, the better off you're gonna be. This catches highly pressured fish, a lot of highly pressured fish. And you can get into even doing different things with this rig. Like you can take like a little nail, like I've got this little nail right here, and just shove that into the end. And then you can actually get this to where it'll actually start falling nose first, and you can kind of fish it like this and get the tail to shake on the bottom. That's really good. They call that the Nico rig.
I've never seen you put a nail on.
Well, you haven't seen me fish on these big lakes like that, because usually when we go fishing at ponds or little private.
I mean, it works when we get them from ponds.
Yeah. And so another little thing that actually catches fish is a tiny little crawdad like this one.
Yes.
So this bait right here is just a little 3-inch Gary Yamamoto.
Wait, show it, kind of put it up a little bit.
Yeah. And so all I'm going to do is just Texas rig this on a little bitty, I think that's a 1/0 hook. And what I'm going to do is put a little 1/4 ounce Pro Tungsten weight on this bait. And I'll use this and I'll just pitch this to wood and laydowns, because it's a real small profile. A lot of people, they won't pitch something that small. This will get you bit. You might catch a lot of bluegill too when you throw this, but that does a really good job.
I haven't really gotten any bluegills from that, but.
Here's a bait that's really often overlooked to be fished by itself, is you take a little double grub like this and put this on a little Ned head. This works really good when you just need a bite.
I don't like that one as much.
Why not?
Because I think I've tried to use it. I would prefer the crawdad.
The crawdad?
Yeah, and I like that color. Is that green pumpkin?
Green pumpkin? Well, that's actually a watermelon red flake.
Oh. But you like green pumpkin, though.
Green pumpkin's a good color. So you can't beat a shaky head either. When you're just trying to get a bite, fishing highly pressured water, shaky head's really good. This is just a little J-Town tackle shaky head. They got some nice little shaky heads. These work really well. You want to just get a little spinning rod, about 10 pound test, throw it out there, let it go to the bottom. Just keep it on the bottom, because the more you work that thing on the bottom, the more action you're going to give it.
So if you have a 10 pound test,
yeah,
are you ever afraid that your line's going to break? Because there was one time that you and I both we had big fish on the line, and I think we had that 10 pound test, and it broke.
Well, it's because you reeled the fish all the way up to the guide, but we won't get into that.
I didn't wheel it up to the guide.
You didn't know how to set your drag at that time, but you're
well,
just
Spencer,
starting
you
out.
lost yours too.
Mine was behind a dock on a brush pile.
I think you almost jumped in.
And I had 20 pound test on mine.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Did you?
All right, whatever. So another little bait here is just a little bitty packer crawl. These work really good too, and you don't really have to necessarily fish these on a jig. You can put these on a little jig head. These have a little bit more action than that little Yamamoto bait that I showed you, but this works really good. And I'm going to show you guys a trick though that works really good when you're fishing for tough to catch fish, and it's gonna seem a little weird, but most of the things that are good are a little weird. So what I've got here is some petroleum jelly.
What the hell?
Yeah, so you might be thinking, what is he gonna do with this petroleum jelly? Well,
Spencer, this is PG.
So this stuff comes in handy all the time when you're fishing if you know what to do with it. All right, so what you need to do with this, so what you can think of is, okay, so this stuff is really good at propelling water, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get your favorite scent. You want to get a garlic or a crawfish scent, and you're just going to dump that in here and you're going to stir it up. Because what you're going to do is you're going to make a fish scent paste to put on your plastics with this. And it's going to stay on the hook. It's going to stay on way better than if you just spray it on there, because it'll come right off. I mean, how many of you guys have gone fishing, you buy the fishing scent, You know, it comes in the spray can. You spray it on your bait. You make like 2 casts, and you know that it's completely off the lure. Well, this stuff right here, if you put your set in here and you mix it up real good, you can take your bait like this, and all you got to do is you just dip it in here, rub it on here like this a little bit, and now you've got a scented bait that's got a slime coat on it that's going to stay on there the entire time that you're fishing this. And so
you just need to be sure to label this if you keep it at home. Put like, you know,
I'm not even going to comment
petroleum jelly, fish scent.
All right, so I think we've gotten through most of the questions so far.
Yeah, I think you know, our time is pretty much up, babe. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, I just want to say that we appreciate you guys tuning in. I want you guys to leave some comments on some different topics to talk about, and we'll catch you guys next week, 8 p.m.
Yeah, and I just, you know, just to kind of segue from our first episode, Spencer, there's something behind you. It's a little present I left for you.
Oh, it's a banana. Yeah, we need to throw that away. We need to get rid of it. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Show it first.
I'm just gonna go ahead and eat this thing right now because
you've been banana.
I don't want any bananas around, and I don't want any bananas getting in my boat. So we're just
gonna put them in your boat.
We're just gonna go ahead and eat this thing right now.
It says love your wifey. You're welcome.
All right, guys. Tune in until next time.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.